Hi, Craig. I just wanted to first thank you for choosing me to do this project with you to create these Kindle books. I want to apologize personally for some of the confusion that I had. I was just trying to set up the job so I could do it quickly whenever I sit down to do the work. I just wanted to show you what you sent me and what I have so far so you can pass on some issues to Colleen, who I suspect is your client. First of all, do I need to keep this copyright date 2005? You know, that's quite a while back. That's just a very small thing. The biggest concern that I have is there's a lot of stuff missing from the table of contents. You know, there's a chapter 8 here. This conquering your sweet tooth is not in the document, and it skips from chapter 9 to chapter 13. So you know, feeling comfortable after eating is there, but chapter 10, 11, 12 is missing along with chapter 8, and it skips to 13, and there is no bibliography. So there's quite a bit of material missing as far as what the table of contents indicates to me that should be there. Okay, so this wasn't a matter of simply converting the file to Kindle. It had to be significantly formatted, and that's why you hired me. So you did a really good thing there, because it would have appeared pretty bad. But anyway, it's a great book. I did not read it as I would if I were editing or proofreading, but I did, you know, get pretty familiar with the book in as much as, you know, highlighting everything that needed to be highlighted and arranging things. So I can tell it's a good book. Some things to look for or know that I changed. A lot of words like exclusively, there were spaces there, and I did not proofread it, but what I did do is when my spell checker told me that there were words that, you know, like exclusively, or if I happened to see it, I would remove that. You know, whenever I look at this, I look at it with the invisibles, show invisibles, so I could see as I'm scrolling through the text, I can see where all the spaces are, and I removed all the excessive spaces between words. So that was one thing that I did. Another thing that I did was, let me just hide these back again. Another thing that I did was I removed all the page numbers that were in the book. You know, as you know, the page numbers had nothing to do with pages. In Kindle, there aren't any pages in ebooks, so I had to remove all those manually. I had to manually arrange all the chapters. Of course, you have to do that. And I had to remove all of the headers and footers that were in the text. And in the process of doing that, I also had to remove all of the hyphenated words, like separately. So one thing that your client needs to do is just briefly look over the entire text, and I will too, and see if there are any words that need hyphens or that are hyphenated and shouldn't be, like separately here. So that's one thing that's you know, it's copy editing, and it's not really, you know, conversion to Kindle. So that's one thing. Now, I did identify several sentences that are incomplete, and it has to do with these the headers and footers sometimes interrupt a sentence. So I can see, okay, that's recognized, so I can remove that. But as we go down here, there's a header, and then there's a portion of a sentence. So I identified this, and I said this might be an error. So your client might want to look at this, and there's only 21 comments in the whole book. So you know, this will only take just a few minutes, but it can save some embarrassment. So I looked through there, and you know, this is just stuff that I accidentally saw whenever I was editing. I mean, not editing, but formatting the book. So I was going through removing stuff like this, and then I saw this sentence: changes made one choice at a time. I have no idea what this is. It looks like it's an ornamental thing. So I just put this, I just centered it and italicized it. So that, I mean, it's just a little bitty issue. So, and then this sentence is incomplete. Then the bigger I mean, just a sentence, then the bigger unrealistic choices. Just see if your client wants to keep that. Um, and then there are a couple of sentences that are just incomplete. I'm just going to scroll down here, and it's highlighted in text, so your client can just scroll down through here. This issue here, it looks like two subheadings that are just back to back with no content. You always need to have content after a subheading in a book. So I suggested that we either pick one, or we can have this long subtitle with a colon. It's up to your client. So trying to get down to the big incomplete sentences. Okay, this isn't an incomplete sentence, but I had no idea what's going on here. Um, okay, you need. Okay, this is an incomplete sentence. Okay, it says you need, and then it says you're only human. Obviously, that's a header that I can remove. But if I remove that, you need incomplete, and then energy zappers allow life to unfold, and then energy zappers. I mean, that's just doesn't make any sense. Now this could be caused by the conversion, from whatever this was to Word, and it could be that it's just an error in the book. I have no idea what's going on, so I just need a little bit of direction. Do I remove it, or does the client want to add something to complete the sentence? So there are a couple of sentences like that. This one, it just says for thee. There's nothing else in the sentence. So that's what it is. There are also several words like high calorie that normally are hyphenated that aren't hyphenated here. Now that could be an issue of converting the file, or it could be that your client just prefers to use the word without hyphens. So okay, those are all the issues. The main thing is missing content. Now, when I published my book through a publisher, they didn't know that chapter 6 was missing. I had a huge book. It was a million characters, about 125,000 words, and so chapter 6 was like 45 pages missing. And they actually sent me a proof, a fully formatted, revised, edited book without a chapter. So this kind of thing happens sometimes. Just ask your client to take a look at it. I don't know what's going on. It could be that the book was shortened and the table of contents was not updated. So thanks once again for choosing me for this project, and we're going to move on to the next book soon. I want to show you a preview of the finished product here. This is what it will look like. This is the chapter title, first line of the chapter, and then the subheadings are in all caps. So you're going to have a good looking book. That's actually the very end of the book. Let's see. See, this missing chapters, I just put placeholders in there for now. I'm going backwards here. I think I can. So that's what it looks like on an iPhone. And you'll have a functional table of contents. So anyway, look forward to hearing from you. Thanks again. Bye-bye.